对，好嘞。谁是 WC 啊？
好，那行，各位医生，大家晚上好哈。那郝医生，我们特别感谢啊，郝医生在百忙当中，他真是百忙当中。哎呀，那个我到芝加哥，郝医生请我们吃了芝加哥的有特色的披萨，哎呦，印象非常深。那披萨各种各样式的啊。那他的工作，他一天半天看将近40-50个冠军。OK， 他是那个 Uber。这个 Orthodontics 这商业模式的创始人，他曾经跟我们讲过，在我们网课早期的时候跟我们讲过一堂，
对
啊，非常非常有印象啊，非常非常好。郝医生非常那个看就像后边的学无止境，非常好学，也非常勤奋呀，并且郝医生还是一位马拉松的长跑运动员，参加过波士顿哈。
对，是就那年大爆炸的时候，我在那儿跑，对，大爆炸案，对
，OK，
因为我跑的比较快一点，所以
你看啊，我见到郝医生的时候就感到啊，郝医生非常非常的有能量，有那什么，非常非常正面。OK， 感谢神啊，那个我们好，那我就不多说这个介绍了哈，我们就把下面的时间交给郝医生，他今天跟我们讲这个口扫和clear aligner。OK， 这个题目非常好 ，From Stone Age to the Digital time， 这个非常好的题目。那好，我就不多说了，把时间交给郝医生啊。来，你可以上
share the screen， 是吧？好嘞，这是怎么个？我来切换这个。
你先切换底下，后边有一个 screen
share。Screen share，OK，对，我看啊 ，chat and mute and recorded and share screen， 对，好嘞，看到了，对。
看到了哈。
然后呢，我怎么个把我的幻灯片调出来？
你先把你的幻灯片在桌面上打开。
哦，在桌面上
然后再等那个。
OK， 好嘞 ，Share slides， 对，好嘞。那我现在打开了，可以，然后又回去了。
没事，别着急。
现在呢？
还是你click那个screen share 底下那个绿的
screen share 是吧？好嘞。
然后你就点击在桌面上选择你那个
slide。screen share 好嘞，我把这个选上了。
OK， 好。
对，然后呢，我现在把这个 slide show 是吧？
对，好。OK， 好。
现在对不对头来？大家能不能看
对头。
好，太好了。好 ，Harry， 我看见 Harry 也在这 ，Harry 也是我们的老朋友对 ，Harry 对，Harry 你好，对，
郝师兄，好师兄，
对，是，我们原来怎么这么快就跑回去了，跑过去了呢？我跑着他自己往前跑，我是往回倒，好嘞，还有魏老师对，张老师非常感谢，大家那个今天能来，听听我这个一点感受，这几年，特别是近1年，我记得非常清楚，就是我们开始买那个什么，scanner，那时候开始，在这之前呢，我真是 Stone Age。什么叫 Stone Age 呢？就是我们原来就是取模，用 alternate 咱们取模 take impression。And then the pull the model, stone model, 是吧？然后 make the aligners or make a retainer. So that's all we call the Stone Age. And now we finally, with support from the Shining 3D, finally we get into the digital age. The digital age, that's really changed my practice significantly. 也真是非常明显。So what I want to share with everyone is how can I use this one and what kind of cases which pick up for the aligners. And we have the different category. What's the easy case? What's the complicated cases? and also some experience with the scanning. And the last part, if we have enough time, and I may share some of the early treatment. You know, we have used a liner to treat the adult, but now we are slowly expand our views and of our treatment populations. You know, the teenager and even the some of the kids. I started to use a aligner to do that early orthodontic treatment. That's aligner is really amazing. With that one 3D scanner, it make our life really easier. Think about it, and when we take impression from the kids with our alternate, what's going to happen? Last week, it was horrible, and I scanned one of the patient, get the expander. It's a 7-year-old boy, and I get a scan, and I get the expander from the lab. But when I put that one into the patient's mouth, you know what's happening. And the patient, the little kids threw up and all over my chairs. It was horrible. But think about it. If we don't have a scanner, if I use an alternate to take impression, it's almost impossible for us to get the impression from these kids. So for the very sensitive kids, what we can do, our intraoral scanner, so really, really help us. I would see, no, we really we should jump into our digital age. We should, I don't see the should, but for me, I should use it a little earlier. And so more and more my patient get the benefit from this intraoral scanner. So today, and really, I'm so glad and I'm so happy to share some of my experience and how do I use that intraoral scanner and also the aligners from the Unismile to develop my clinic. And it was it's really an organic growth. I just talked with Dr. Zhang and share my experience. And think about it, before I use the alternate, and I use Invisalign. These kind of all either the PVS impressions. These are all the first things and take a longer time. We take impression and we pack in it and we send to the Invisalign company. And then they said, okay, you have a problem with your impressions. Then we have to do another run. So take around, sometimes it really take me 2 to 3 weeks to get a patient's record and in the Invisalign company, their website. But now I have the intraoral scanner. Once I start a scan and finish the scan in the 1 or 2 minutes, and then the Unismile get all my digital the models. It's unbelievable and save our a lot of times and and also the cost is really dramatically reduced. And all the aligners so far, luckily, and all the aligner I get it, and they all fit perfect. I don't have any issue with that one, the fitting. So that's what I said. Let me share my experience with the whole. That's a 1 year with our intraoral scanner and also was Unismile's aligners. So I'm ABO certified orthodontist, and I just renewed my board certificate, and it's every 10 years. And as a board certified orthodontist, American Board of Orthodontics, you have to renew your certificate. That means you have to take the written exam and also some of the cases exam. And then you take around 2 hours, you finish that whole exam, and then you can be recertified. But the first part of the ABO certified orthodontic, ABO certification for you to take a while. But when you finish the first round, when you be certified after the 10 years, it's relatively easier. So that's what I might always recommend for the orthodontics in our group. If they really want to improve their clinic skills and also to broaden their knowledge, and it's highly recommend to take the ABO exam and be a board certified orthodontist. So let's go to the next one. Here is my 3 clinic. I work in the different clinic, but this one is my own babies. I have three clinics. They are all the general dentist clinic. And for me, I never think, when I started, I never think about I'm going to do the orthodontic specialty clinic. The reason is it's really hard. How can you get your patients? Because most of our patients come from the general dentist office. They come to your office, they do the cleaning, they do the filling, and all the other things. And then they start thinking, oh, I need the braces. So that's a reason. And if you have a general dentist, you are going to, for sure, you're going to get the orthodontic patients. And these days, and a lot of general dentists, they do their orthodontic work in their office. They barely refer any orthodontic patient to the orthodontic specialist clinic. So that's what I feel when I started the clinic. When I think about get my own clinic, I always think about it. I own to open the general dentist office. I don't open the specialty office. So that's my first one. And this is the first one I know called the Pacific Smiling Dental. We already have the 5 chairs in the office, and another 3 chairs are waiting for me to build up. And 2 of them and the other 2, we are going to work with it. And they are all the designs for the 8 to 9 chairs. And where the idea is we are going to build up that of the one-stop shop for the dental service. That means when the patient come on in and we do the basic treatment for the fillings and the cleaning and extractions, but when they need a specialist like orthodontics, periodontist, endodontist, then we're going to put the patient in the one day, like Monday morning, Monday afternoon is our also day. And then the orthodontist come to the office and treat this patient. So the patient will stay in the same office. Patient don't travel. And that will be the idea. And then probably the Wednesday morning is our endodontist to come to treat our endo patient. And maybe the Friday afternoon is going to be our implant doctors. So that's the ideas. And if we have a couple of clinics, and then our specialists couldn't get the enough workload. And think about it, if you only have one dental office, it's difficult for you to provide enough workload for this specialist. When you cannot give them enough workload, and this specialist is very hard for them to stay with you, and they maybe go to someone else and give you more of a hard time. So that's what my plan. And I'm going to have a little bit more clinics, and we are going clinic is big enough. Because at that time, when our general dentist work in the office, and our specialist also can work the same office too. So even we can make suppose one patient needed to see the 2 doctors at one time. Like they need to do the cleaning, and at the same time, they need to do the implant consultation. So we can put that patient in the Friday afternoon. The patient come do the cleaning. After cleaning, our implant doctors in the office right now. So they can give that patient a consultation. The patient don't need to get another trip. So that's really help our patient and make it convenient. So that's my ideas, and we're going to have that one-stop shop for the dental service. And I also have this one, the in-house orthodontic partner. We call the in-house orthodontic partner. I call the IHOP program. And this one is okay. Let me go to sorry, I got it wrong one. For that part, in-house orthodontic partners, I call the IHOP program. That's like I call myself the Uber orthodontic. And so far, I work in the 20. This year's almost 24 offices. General, they're all the general dentist office, and this office could be the single solo of a private clinic. I also have a couple of them from DSO, and they have a couple of clinics. I work several of them, and so that's another my major job at this point. Because my own office, I don't have enough patient yet, and we are still developing. And for this one, and for my Uber orthodontic program, and I can travel different locations. And for this program, already fully developed, and I work for this business model at least 8 to 9 years. So I'm pretty familiar with this one, the IHOP, and I know how to work with our general dentist and work in the different clinical settings. Then we can see their patient in general dentist office. This kind of business model is a really interesting one. I never thought about that. I can make that works in the beginning. Most of orthodontics in the beginning, when they graduate from the ortho program, sometimes they work a general dentist for a while, 1 year, 2 years, and once they have their own clinic, they left. And then they few of orthodontic like me and work this kind of work with a general dentist for so long. But why the longer I do, and I feel I can do the more productive and make the works very well. A couple of things I want our specialists to pay attention for this business model. The first things, think about it, when you graduate and from the dental school and your specialty program, you have a lot of student loan. I would say at this point, and I remember the ADA, and they already go to the kind of survey, and minimum for the dental student, it's $250,000. But this survey is a couple of years ago. Think about these days, and most of the dental school, their tuition is already close to the 100,000 per year. Some of them even more. And I know the private dental school, like Middle Western, it's go to the 120,000 per year. It's just the tuition itself. You think about it, 4 years, how much loan is going to have to take? You don't count your own boarding and your food and all the other things. So you have a lot of students when you graduate, and you cannot, no one can give you a loan to get the new big office and $1 million office that you to run. So you have to work with someone else. So when you work with someone else, and you as a specialist, I would say, and Uber orthodontics or Uber endodontics, you travel different location, it still can make money and also make it very productive. Yeah. So that's the one I'm running right now, and I feel, and if anyone want to get more information and how can you make the works, and I have all the template, like how can you sign the contract, how can you run your schedules, how can you build up your own team, and how can you monitor your that one, the financial status with different offices. So that's another the things I would like to share with everybody if anyone's interested. And here today, I'm really now that back to our business. It's our a paradigm shift and from Stone Age to the digital time. And I will make the short. That's here is you can see, and it was in the middle winter meetings, and that time, and we really have every year, and in the Chicago, you know how cold it is, Chicago, in February, and it's a third or fourth and Thursday in February, maybe I'm not 100% sure, and we have that one, the middle winter meeting. It's it's one of the biggest dental shows in the United States. We know 3 of them. One is in California, and the largest one probably the New York, and Chicago is one of the biggest one. And the dental show, they have 2 different locations. One is in the McCormick Place. That one is you can have lectures, you can have a lot of companies to show their new product, and then there's a second part in downtown area. It's lab day. They call the lab day. It's most focus on the lab, dental lab. And that's what I met Dr. Zhang the first time. Okay, and we see a lot of times in our lectures, but I never see the in person. So look at this. So we have a lot of fun, and then we finish the show. I went to the Chicago deep pan pizza. You know, Chicago that's famous for the deep pan pizza. This kind of pizza, it's barely see the other place, because most of the area the pizza is very thin and crisp, and the Chicago one is really thick. And it's hard to make it popular because it take a longer time to cook this kind of pizza. So anyone come to Chicago and let me know, and we're going to have fun with that Chicago deep pan pizza. And there's 2 famous one. One is in Giordano, and the second one is another one is Laura Milnati's. And so if you come to Chicago and try to get that one of them, they won't let you down. Kids will love it. And here is another one. And when you have a chance, and we also have invite the Unismile and Chance come to the office. He gave me a lot of help and updated my software. You can see that the Shining 3D scan was a Model 2 scanners. And Sean's helped me to update on my software and helped me to make my scan faster, told me a lot of tricks, and also tell me a lot of new things so I can make it faster and make it quick. And that's my same time we're going to tell the chance and what really in the clinic, what are the our problems, and how can we save the files to STL, and also how can we add the new labs in the Shining 3D lab list. So all these kind of things, and we can do Sean's helped me, and that's really wonderful things to have that one, the Chicago middle window meetings. So I'm thinking about it. If next time and next year, if more and more our dentists, our group people come to Chicago, we may have some of them a brain symposium or something. And because I have my office and or something, and we can stay there and share our experience, also put some of the product and do some demos so everyone can get a benefit from the meetings in Chicago. And of course, we're going to bring the pizzas in the office, something like that. So if anyone have suggestions, let me know, so we can make it have fun, and we also learn something. So we know the aligners and braces, and in the school, and I graduated 2011 from UIC, University of India and Chinese. We call the University of India and Chinese, UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago. In that dental school, and that also program, I barely get any information about the aligners, only speaking, yeah. All the aligner things I learned from the readings, from my experience, and but now I think all the also program, even the graduate program and the undergraduate program, like a DDS program, they started teaching the aligners, how to use the aligners, and because aligners are really easier for the general dentist to jump in to do the ortho cases. And so that's the things. And I think that in our group, and a lot of general dentists are listening this lecture. So I would say, and if you really want to start the ortho program in your clinic, and clear aligner maybe it's your first choice, you can start with aligners and then see how do you like. And then if you really want to go to another level, then you go to the braces and go to some of the program, learn how to put the braces and straight up the teeth with braces. As we know, and there's a lot of direct to consumers and Smile Direct Club, and also Candide. I remember this one. Now I just get the news, see the Candide. This company, they are going to close their direct to the consumer program. They don't have that service anymore. They just focus on the work for the general dentist. They provide a service for general dentists. They don't do the direct to the consumer. Now, like Smile Direct Club, they just sell their aligner to the consumer directly. And there's a lot of fightings. And I would see, you can, if you see their stock market, if you see their value of the stock market, you understand and what's the company they are facing the problem right now. I always use this one, the Smile Direct Club fees as a reference. The thing is, when the patient come on in, if that's a straightforward case, like a tiny gap, and also the relapse case, and not that complicated, that you can fill and you can use that 5 or less than 10 liners and 10 sets. I mean, the 10 sets of liner and less than 10 sets of liner can correct all the problem. And then you can compare the price with a Smile Direct Club, because their fee is 19,950. So this price, we have to compete with them, because if you don't do the same price, and the patient will go to the Smile Direct Club. So what I do is if the simple straightforward case, I told them I can match the price with the 1950. But the good things, you will get scans in my office, and you will get you will see the doctor, and we're going to have a personal. You are going to see the real doctor in the office. So that's the things we can compete with this one, the Smile Direct Club. And for this price, I would say it's very difficult for us to use Invisalign service, because the Invisalign, the fees it's pretty high, and we barely have any margins to make the works. So, and I would say the UniSmile give us another choice, and their inexpensive lab fees and make us more competitive to the other to the Smile Direct Club. And here's I get the fee because I work with all these three aligners, and I'm pretty familiar with their lab fees. And Invisalign, as we know, the Invisalign fee is 1,900, and it's a for the 5-year unlimited aligners. And the clear correct. Okay, so the clear correct is around as a 1,400. I use them. Let me see after I feel the what's that, the Invisalign is like a daily robbery, and when I want to lower the cost for my patient, I switch to the clear correct, and the fee is 1,400, and it's better than the Invisalign, but their aligners are really stiff. I don't know anyone use that one aligners, and also their template attachment template. It's very hard to work with. When bonding the attachment, most of the time they pop off my attachment. Yeah, because their template and their aligner are very stiff. And that, of course, we have the UniSmile. That's what in the group. I'm so happy, and we work with them, and we get that one $1,000 and 3 years. We get $1,000 and 3 years unlimited alignment. So that ones make us more competitive. And if someone want to get the lower fees, and they don't really care and what the brand you use, I usually recommend them to go to the UniSmiles. And here's the cases. What do you do? You have to choose the right cases for your when you start it. How do you see? I always make that one the easier case, moderate case, and the difficult one. The easier case, like this one, yeah. Let me see. Okay, let me minimize this one a little bit. Okay, they are blocked. Okay, good. So the easier case most of the time is I would see orthodontic relapse case. Yeah, orthodontic relapse case is relatively easier. And of course, if the relapse too much, and you have to go to the different levels. But if there's within a couple of weeks, months, and it's very easy for you to use that one, aligner to correct it, because their teeth are still not very fully settled. And if you can use aligners and quick close at the tiny gaps or a little bit of rotations, especially the lower front teeth, and because they have the short root, and it's easier for you to work with aligners. Some of the space, I would say the spacing is a no-brainer with aligners. Yes, spacing and the generalized spacing, it's a good case to start it. And a mild crowding, like but mild crowding, and remember, always do the IPR. If you don't do the IPR, it's very hard for you to do that, release that crowding, because their aligners not as the force. Sometimes they're not as strong as our braces. For braces, I barely do the IPR when I started, but for the aligners, my experience, I'm not sure the other doctors I would see, they may also share their experience, but for me, the mild crowding, even a little crowding, if you do a tiny bit of IPR, just use that a strip, go to between the teeth, break the contact point, and then going to see the nice very quickly. You got to see that and the nice rotations and make your treatment more efficient. So the break the contact point. Another things I also want to share with everybody is how can you communicate with it? Let me finish this slide. I will talk about the communicate with our patient and with aligners. So the moderate cases, it's a lot of space, and because for aligner, it's a little bit hard to control the root. Take a while for them to get the root in the right place. So the as long as the 7 millimeter space and the January space, it's a little bit challenging for aligner to make the root completely parallel. So when you finish and the first round, or either when you finish, and make sure you take a panel and check with that one your root parallel, and then you can make sure you have less chance to relapse. Most of the time, if you have the root is not that parallel, and they have a great chance if the patient don't wear the retainer very well, and you have a lot of chance to get a relapse. So when you have a big space, you close a space in the short period of time, and make sure you check with the panel, and make sure the root is parallel, and then you have less chance to relapse for this case. And other things, and also you can see the lower incisor extraction, and I would see I only did one cases with a lower incisor extractions. Closing the space, especially the lower incisor extraction, and make the aligners still efficient, almost the same. I feel very similar like our braces, because the lower incisor area, first things are the space are very narrow. Okay. So that's one thing, okay, and severe anterior crossbite, and also you can try with the aligners. The difficult cases I would see like this one. The difficult cases and extrusion and intrusion. I still have a couple of cases are struggling with extrusion, and it's very not that efficient to the extrusion. That's sometimes I use a lingual braces. I put a couple of lingual braces and then extrude the some of the teeth, or either use a clear bracket and help you straight up. And also the rotation. Holy moly, the rotation is a challenging part for the aligners. I know they have a lot of ways. They bonding the buttons, they use a rubber band and do the different way, but it's still very difficult for the aligners to do the rotation. Myself, I have the canine is a little bit rotated. I would say the 30-degree rotations. I tried the aligners and Invisalign, and take me forever, and did a couple of times IPR. They are still stubborn. It's very difficult to do the rotation, especially for canines. That's a long root and challenging part. Posterior crossbite, at this one, I would say it seems better now, because the aligners, they have a little bit of better material than a couple of years ago. So the posterior crossbite, they can use that expansion. They can do better. And upright the molars. And this one is challenging for the aligner, aligner. Even for our braces, also challenging too, because sometimes that when we need the implant space, we want to upright that 7s or either the 8s to make the enough space or the for our implant, and upright the molar with aligner is still challenging. Yeah, and of course extraction case. But I saw a lot of cases from China, and they did an excellent job. And for me, I still scary to go there to do the extraction case, fallback extraction cases. But I'm going to start one, and already ordered the one set of liner from Unismile. We're going to do the one of the extraction cases. It's a fallback, my first fallback extraction cases with aligners. The good thing is that whatever I do, and luckily, and I'm orthodontics, I can always go back to my braces to help my patient. So when you do this kind of cases, always think about the exit strategy, or either way we call the plan B, and make sure you can finish the case, or either way you can have a good friends to cover your ass. Okay, so that's interesting to make sure. And some of the complicated cases, when you start it, you make sure you can finish. That's the most important part. Yeah, this one I can skip. That's the one, as you know, that the easy cases. You can see that the easy cases and spacing and a little bit of rotations, and you can finish, yeah, as a hero. And most of the time, and these kind of cases, and I would say go straight forward and mild crowding and spacing less than the 3 to 4 millimeter. And then you get the take the scan or either the take impression and go straight forward. And even you can do the another way is no attachment. And IPR, I would say the most of our general dentist can do it. And just let's just use mosquito burr or the very fine burr to cut between the teeth. So that's one is relatively easier for our general dentist to start with this easy case, mild crowding and mild spacing, relapse case, yeah, and the moderate cases like this one, and that's crowdings over the 3 to 5, even the 6 millimeter, and some of the rotations, and even for this, look at this one, the canine is already out of the arch, and you still can use that aligner to open the space to make the lower jaw, expand the lower jaw and up the arch, and get that one, the tugging these canines. Yeah. And of course, these are difficult cases, and I would say most of people have that one, the sense what's that difficult one. Okay, yeah. So, and when you get this one and cases, and it's either way, and you can refer to your orthodontics, even that difficult for orthodontic too. And if you think about it, you are going to try by yourself, and make sure you make a good friend, make a friend with the orthodontics, and later they can cover your part of your back, okay? And so they can support you and let you finish the case, either way with aligners or either braces. Yeah, usually I see a lot of referral cases to the office, and so they cannot finish with aligners. And then we put the braces and do some of the work, and then hopefully we can finish and make the patient happy. A little bit of communication. Why when we do the aligners, there's not the patient always say it's clear. Actually, you be very careful because we're going to do the IP attachment. Attachment is kind of like a tooth-colored material, but they still stuck with your teeth. And sometimes our Invisalign, their attachment is very tiny, and seems better for the other company. And attachment is sometimes attachment is very significant. So if you use that a different company, make sure that your patient knows you are going to put something tooth-colored material on patient's surface of teeth. The reason is I have one patient in the beginning of my practice, and we always want to be a hero, and so I told them, "Oh, you can treat it with aligners." Then some of the reason I didn't tell them enough give them enough information when the patient get that one aligner, and once I put the attachment, he jump off these chairs and asked, "What the hell is this guy? What? Look at my what do you put on my on surface of my teeth?" Because that one is issues. We don't give enough information about that attachment. So always from that time, from that moment. I always put up when I start the patient, align a patient. I always tell them two things, and one thing is attachment, and we're going to put I call the bumpers on surface of your teeth, because that bumpers going to help our aligners to hold your teeth better. Because when we do think about it, if your surface are very smooth, aligner target, they don't give the certain of the force or the vector of the force we want. And so it's difficult for us to move your teeth. So we need to put a certain of the bumpers on surface of teeth so our aligner can grab your teeth efficiently and then do certain of movement. So that's the things that you talk with. Most of the patients, they okay, and I understand. And the second one is we have to tell them and give them enough information called the IPR. You know, the IPR is it's very tricky to tell the what's the how do you use that, because IPR is we always say, oh, you trim your teeth. Yeah, but that kind of word is going to really scare our patient away, because cut. I always use this word, and it's a similar thing, but you have to use a different words, choose a different word, and make it not that offensive. Like I always say, oh, your teeth are so contact so tightly, and we need to break the contact point. We need to break the contact point. I just use the sandpaper and just break the contact point so that easier for your teeth move around. And sometimes if that one, the sandpaper is not enough, I may use the burr to break the contact point, but try to avoid the use that one, the cut your teeth. If you use the cut of the teeth, and the patient maybe is scary away, and they don't want to do the treatment anymore. So make sure I would say it's a communication, and we give them enough information, but not over scare them. That will be your kind of, I call the art of our clinic. How can you communicate with patient? Let them get enough information, but not over informed. And then so make our clinic so you can do your real procedures and you still can get your patients satisfaction. So that's a part I would say. And the more you practice, and the more you are going to get these kind of skills. And there's no shortcut. And when you have a couple of mistakes, when you have hit made some mistake, and then you will learn. And that's my experience. And 10 years, I made a lot of mistakes. And hopefully one day I'm going to put my bad cases and show to everybody and how bad I was. But now the reason is we learn from our mistake. And then every day when you go to the clinic, you always reminding yourself, I don't want to repeat the same mistake. I may make a new mistake, but I don't want to make the same mistake again and again. Here is my favorite body. I call the Shining 3D intraoral scanners. I have two of them. And one is the Model 2. You can see the left side as Model 2. And the right side is Model 3. Model 3, Model 3, I live in my office. And the Model 2 is come with me to travel to different offices. And basically, I love both sides. And I just tell my experience. I don't see this one as my evidence. It's just my personal opinion. For the Model 2, when you scan, they are a little bit slower than the Model 3. But when I finish, when they build up the models, digital models, and since our Model 3 is relatively slower, but not significant. I would say probably the 1 minute, 2 minutes different. And in our clinic, and 1 minute, 2 minutes, I don't think it's make any big difference. But that's just my experience. And I actually like the Model 3. It's the tips are pretty small, and they even have kids tips. So that's when they really help our patient in the clinic, especially for the pedo clinic. If you can have this Model 3, and your patient is going to love you and are going to bring their friends, because this one, it's really make our impressions easier and we comfortable compared to our alternate or either PBS. Another things for the scanners, what my experience is, and you have to train your assistant. Think about the doctor. I tried a couple of times and I already scan 50, 60. I would see that my assistant, so far I did at least around 200 scan at least, yeah. My assistant do the most of the things. You have to push your assistant to do it. The thing is they get used to big impression. They are comfortable with that impressions. They don't want to learn something new, but you have to push them and tell them and how easy it is. Think about it, and you take the scan, and you don't need to pour the model, and you don't need the packing the model. You don't need the tracking the shipping. So how easier for you, and when your assistant understand and get the points and stay the same pages with you, then that's easier for your assistant to do it. You know what? Once the assistant start to use it, they love it, and that make your clinic very efficient with these scanners. And here is my another one. I'm going to get it, and the 3D printer. I'm going to order today, and actually we already talked with Jennifer a couple of days ago, and luckily we have a local support. And Lana, and she's in Chicago. She's in Chicago, and she's going to help me to get this one, the 3D printer. The reason is I think about get a 3D printer, and these 3D printers can print a model, and also because my office is a general dentist office, I can get that one the surgical guide. Think about it. If you have need a surgical guide, and if you can print the model and in your the guide in your office, that's really save the money and also shorten your case turnover time. That's the things I always want to try something new, and because you never know, and they may change your life. They may bring you something and surprise, or either way, and then that's keep learning. And that's what my daddy always give me this one, that 学无止境. There is no end to learning, and keep learning, and you will become younger, and you can become happier, and hopefully, and we make more money. Yeah. So that's basically my talk, and if that, I have a quick another slides talk about the early treatment. If I can go through, and I know it's already an hour, and let me just quick use a 10. I would say I use 10 minutes, and finish that one, and then if that one, then everyone can go home, and so we can. You know what it's I always in the clinic. I always talk with my assistant, and I cannot do something better. Only thing I can do better is make sure you guys go home on time. That's the things I told my assistant. So today I maybe take 10 minutes longer, but I want to let everybody see that there's another things we can do with aligners. Let me see, and where's slideshow? Okay, animation slideshow. Okay, let's set up slideshow from the beginning. Okay, good. Yeah, here's we call the Invisalign first. I tried a couple of them, and and I'm still the learning curve. And this one is our futures too. And if you see the make it simple, and if you want to do the expansion, and they can help you. This one, the aligner can help you make expand. And also, if you want to let your lateral to get enough space, and you can use aligners, and because you send them your panel, so they based on the panel, and they can predict the size of the lateral, and in your aligners they can leave that space, make the enough space for your lateral, upper lateral, so they can get a nice eruption put in the right place. And also, if you have a very protruded upper jaw, and that's if you do the aligners, and they can prevent your protruded upper jaw, and also prevent that one, the front teeth trauma. And of course, when we have an underbite, the anterior crossbite, and we can use aligners to do that one too, to get the early treatment. And some of the kids, they have that kind of habit, like a suck the thumbs, and also the suck the lips, and then we can use our aligners and to correct that one, the oral habit. And also, that our second class 2 malocclusion in our literature shows if that most of the time your first molar is kind of mesial in rotated. If you just rotated your first molar with that aligner, and we call the mesial out, and then you are going to correct that class 2. So that's a beauty for the aligners. They can do this very easily, do the rotation. And also of course, the space maintainer. If you have maintenance, if you found the early exfoliation for our primary teeth, and you can use this aligner to do that one, the job like a space maintainer. These are all the things, and for the we can expand the new area for our aligners for the mixed dentitions. A couple of cases, just a quick, usually you do this one, the treatment plan is Invisalign first, and you can expand the upper and the lower jaw, and mix that one, the canine space, and also the lateral, some of the space, like space maintainer. When you finish this one, the aligner company and the Invisalign company, they give you the second phase one. They have the discount for your second phase. So if you do well, and actually this one to save the money, and your patient is going to get the benefit for the second phase. Here is some of the crossbite. You can see the posterior patient have a posterior crossbite, and it's still the mixed dentition. You can see the C and the D here, and you can do that one, the expansion with the
change to DDSL.
Yeah, you can do the hi, Steven. And you can do the that one, the open bite, and with aligners. And some of the kids, you can do that's one of the kids they use that one, the aligners, and mix the space, and until the fully erupted the permanent one. And so that's when the phase 1 and the phase 2 continuous with aligners. And this one, they have what's that, a discount for the phase 2.
We cannot see your slide.
Oh, you cannot see my slide?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'll share the, new sharing. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let me get, okay. Yeah, let me get this, okay. Okay, can you see now? New sharing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I switched to different slides, and thank you, Steve. Yeah. Let me quick go back, and so you still can see. Let's see where it's show. Okay, and show from the beginning. Okay, here. Okay, let me go back. Yeah. Can you see the Steve? Can you see that? Steve?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So what we do is, let me go back, and sorry about that one. And I use that one, the Invisalign first. Invisalign first is designed for the mixed dentition, early orthodontic treatment. And this one is also a very interesting area. And also, especially for teenager, you will see a lot of commercials from the Invisalign company. And these, the future is clear. These, the advertisement is, the future is clear. It is. Some of the kids, they started towards the aligners. And when I in the clinic, I see the kids, they come here and they just tell me directly, Dr. He, I don't want to use the traditional braces anymore. And please give me the aligners. And yes, and we can, as long as they are the compliance, not the issues, they wear that 22 hours a day, and aligners works for them too. So that's here is my couple of things, and we can do the expansion and with our aligners, and also we can leave the space, make the give the enough space for the upper lateral, and let them erupt naturally. If we can use that one, the aligner, to correct the class 2 in certain of and at least we can prevent the front teeth trauma, and also the crossbite. And if we can run in the class 3 elastic with aligners, and we can get the early correction for that class 3. I would say the challenging for the skeletal class 3, but for the teeth, for the only the issue from the teeth, get that anterior crossbite, and aligner is a good way to, it's a good tools to correct that one, the anterior crossbite. And of course, get rid of the habit, and you can prevent the later that one, the skeletal open bite. So get rid of the habit, like a some sucking, and also the one of them is molars. We can, the class 2, sometimes our molars always rotate in and mesial in. If we use aligner, get a nice straight and straight up mesial out rotation, and we maybe can correct some of the class 2. And of course, you can use that aligner to do the space maintain and prevent that one, the space closing in the certain of stages. Here's before the treatment, and I just make the short and the workflows. And here's.
Dr. Hao, I have a question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. And with aligner, how can aligner prevent the skeletal defect?
Oh, honestly speaking, and for certain of the skeletal one, and you can feel like the expander, and if it's very severe, narrow the upper arch, and I would say I still use my traditional expander. But certain of the expander, you feel it, and it's just because of the upper molar, tipping in. And if you see that the skeletal, the molars, like upper molar is just tipping in, I feel this case is good for that one, the aligners to correct it. Because the aligner, their force not that strong, but they can, not that difficult for them to just tipping the molar out with that aligners, especially for the 6 or 7, 8, 9, this age of their root is not completely formed yet, and it's easier, and also their bones relatively soft. Aligners works pretty well with this kind of patient, because this early treatment is really if you were Chinese, we call it the 事半功倍, and because that one is that time suture is not completely closed, and the bone are soft, root is not completely formed yet, so that's use our aligner to do the expansion, and I see the great result. Yeah, of course, severe one, yeah, severe ones are difficult, and but a simple one, just because of the teeth tipping in, aligner works well.
Yeah, a second question is that in your slide, previous slide, in the mixed dentation, you said aligner can correct the mandible protrusion and the maxillar, how to say it?
Maxilla, which one is you said the?
Right, that's right. Number 2 and number 3.
Oh, number 3. Okay.
Number 3.
Well, number 3.
4.
Yeah, let me show you. I have a quick. Let me go ahead and show you the. Yeah, we can jump to the end. Okay, that's all the. Yeah, that's one that I show you the class 2 myocclusion. You see the big overdeck for these cases, right? Yeah, this one is only speaking for the early treatment class 2. It's very debatable in our orthodontic field. The evidence shows that if you treat the early treatment with our class 2, you don't get that many benefits from our early treatment. But there's one thing, and you can tell your patient, let them know, if you don't do the class 2 correction, you may get the traumatize. You may traumatize your front teeth when you do the spots, when you do the other activities. So this one, if you use this reason to tell the patient, that one is supported by the evidence. That means, and if you said, okay, you have a very protruded upper jaw, and your lower jaw is a little smaller, and when you fall on the floors, think about it, you're going to hit your upper front teeth first, and then there, because no support in your lower jaws and lower teeth, and it's very easy to damage your upper front teeth. So that's the things, and then you can see, and the patient, we do this open bite. Yeah, I don't have that one cases at this point, but I would see we can use this one aligners, and you can run in the class 2 rubber band. And since I'm using the Unismile, they have very special design for the hooks. Their hooks are not like our Invisalign. Invisalign usually they have the power range. It's kind of like it's not a real hook. It's just a sticky out one, and then the lower one you have bonding the buttons. Then you can run the rubber band from the upper front to the lower back. But for the Unismile, they have a special design, and all their hooks, and they are all built in their aligners. That means you don't need to do any extra work. You just need to order their aligners. Then you can run the class 2 rubber band or either class 3 rubber band through the aligners. And then that will make our clinic more efficient. And also, I feel the force are stronger and they have less chance to, like, think about if your buttons popped off and you cannot run the rubber band for a couple of days. But for that, if you have a built-in hooks, that's easier for you to run the rubber band without the sound. Yeah, some of the habit we can use the liner to get it straight, and sometimes that's all you can. That's one that's for the aligners. You can see you have the bond in the buttons and or the bracket, and then you can there's a sticky out part, and you can use that one to run your rubber band, crack the class 2. Yeah, that's the one, and you can see some of the changes, profile change. Yeah, underbite, and we can use this one too. Yeah, because when you think about it, when you do the anterior crossbite, when you have aligners, you have automatically open the occlusions. Think about that's one your underbite. It's your lower jaw, it's your upper jaw. And once you have your aligners, first things the aligner going to separate your occlusions. It's like an automatic occlusal build up. And then you running the class 3 rubber band, it's easier for you to crack it. So that's the thing, the beauty for the aligners to crack the anterior crossbite, especially for the for the young kids. And you know, our Asians, we have more class 3 patients. So that one is going to really help you to get that one cracked. But I use in the clinic, I use my protection face mask. Now I'm slowly toward to the aligners and help the kids with this easier appliance. Okay, that's one.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's something. Anything else? And you're interested? Yeah, that's attachment. You see the aligners. Yeah, occlusal build-up. You even can do the occlusal build-up with aligners. Yeah, you see this one? You can separate the occlusion, and that's easier for you to crack the class 3. Yeah, and you can do your own. You can see this all the attachment you can do by your DIY. You can do by yourself. Yeah, but most of the time I barely do this one. That's really a lot of times you have to involve. Or either way, you get a well-trained your assistant. They can help you to do this kind of based on your ideas, based on your routines, and the system that can repeat this work for you. Yeah, and some of the cases, yeah, and we have the anterior crossbite, you can correct. That's what I mentioned, that one, the molar rotations. Yeah, you can see the left side, and that's the class 2 patient, and with the molar rolling in, mesial in. But with our aligners, you can get a very nice rotations and mesial out and get the correct the class 2. Yeah, some of the patients, and that's you know. Okay, so that's a major, the beauty things for the aligners. You can even put the aligners, and some of the liner we can put a sticker to the liner, and it doesn't make fun. And think about it, when your kids have sports, and also they play the instrument, music instrument, it's difficult for them to have braces. Most of the time, my braces patient, they barely do that one. The music instrument, when they have braces, challenging for them. But when you have aligners, it's relatively easier. They take off their aligners and just play their music. After play the music, they put their aligner back. So that's a beauty for the aligner to do the treatment at this age when they play the music. Okay, so that's the things and all things, and even kids can put the Facebook and put that one, the attachment, and for their Valentine's Days, all these kind of fun things for the aligners. Yeah, so that's basically, and I have the information for everybody and aligners, and what's my experience with uni smiles, and what's with that one in Invisalign. So I hopefully, and everybody get some of they open the mind, and we are going to do more and more aligners. And it's a digital age now. It's but but the first start is with a scanner. Once you have the good scanner and you work with them, and they are going to really help you to jump you to another level for your practice. So that's all the things, and I want to tell today, and use that your digital scanner, and you get the aligners, and work with the company and give them a feedback what you want to do, and they have the very smart guy behind that aligners. They will help you and make your treatment plan to a real. And so that's all the things. I'm so happy we have the Unismile to get the support, and also have the Shining 3D to work with. We can talk with manufacturer directly. We don't need to go to the middleman. We don't need to go to the someone else, and we can give them the feedback directly, and so they can improve their product and make our clinic more efficient. Yeah. I would say at this point, and I maybe shut up and let everybody and questions, all the things, yeah. And sorry, I keep you guys a little bit longer, and it's already past 8:30. And any questions I can help everybody?
Dr. Hall, I have two questions. First question, you mentioned that, clear aligner is stiffer than Invisalign. And how about Unismile?
Oh, Unismile, I would say just middle. I would say, and based on my experience, and Unismile is a little bit strong, a little bit stronger than the Invisalign. They don't. Invisalign seems a little bit softer, yeah. But I don't feel that much difference, yeah. Aligner, clear correct is really stiff, and sometimes I almost feel I have to use my foot to push that one, to use a lot of force to push that one in. And but for the Unismile, it's middle, and the aligner Invisalign is relatively soft. I think they use a different material. If that, I'm not exactly familiar. And Invisalign, they always have their own material. Unismile, I'm not sure, but a clear correct, it's a tough one to work with.
Right, good. And also, with different company, Invisalign or ClearCorrect, they have clinical advisors. With Unismile, do they also have clinical advisors?
Oh, clinical advice. Oh, you mean the assistant? Oh, that's one. Honestly speaking, for me, it's aligner. I feel it's a no-brainer. It's just most of the time what I do is I just share my client. I'm a little lazy, and when I give them an order, and when I see the animations can achieve the result I like, I usually don't change their treatment plan, because most of I feel that ones are based on their algorithm, and they make that one all the assumptions, and they're supposed to finish that one as it is. Yeah. So what I do, so for me, it's hard to change some of the only thing that I can see. Oh, I don't like this one, the rotation, and also some of the minor questions, I just let them correct it. And also, like some of patients, they really want to correct their overjet, and then I just mention in my treatment plan. Most of the time, I don't change it. I feel this one is kind of like a automated treatment plan. You just put it in and you get the result. And so far, I don't have any big issues. Even for the Invisalign, I also do the same thing. I barely change their treatment plan. And as long as they are okay, and they are, I'm just work with. So that's my experience.
Yeah. Good. All right. And also,
Doctor, this is Sean from Unismile. So to answer your question, we do offer assistance online. So if you do have any question, if you're English speaking doctor, you can always find us through our phone number or through email. And also if you're Chinese speaking doctors, then you can also find us through WeChat. And time zone is not a big issue because we do have office here in the United States, here in LA. And also like if you work very late, we do have staff that work overnight can answer your question. Yeah.
And great. And that's a specialist or advisor, assistant, is our certified orthodontist or technician?
It's most likely it will be our technician and the specialist to answer your question. But we do have a team of orthodontists that go over the design before even you to see it. And if you really want to discuss the case with the orthodontist, we can get you to connect it through email or a Zoom meeting if you really want. Yeah.
Good. Is there actual charge for that, for this Zoom meeting?
No, it's a part of our service. So yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you. Good. That's the answer. Yeah. So because I always talk with Zhang through my text message through the WeChat. So we can get the answer. Yeah, usually within the minutes and not that long. Yeah, so that's a great thing. Yeah, for the.
Okay, last question, Dr. Hao, and sure. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Blue Sky Bio, and they offer a kind of like a aligner, but with the braces inside the aligner.
Oh, what's that? You got a hybrid or something? It told me and
right, it's a Blue Sky Bio. They offer that product.
What's that? Yeah, sometimes I call the hybrid treatment. If they're too complicated for the aligner to treat or the not efficient, I just do the braces first, and then I jump to the aligners. But I always tell the patient it's going to be expensive because you have used a two system clinically, and it's not that financially it's not that attractive. So it's better to just stay with one system. I always tell them. But yes, and some of the like rotations and uprighting, and these days I just do the segmental. Just go to the couple braces, and then in the one area, and then make the job done, and then I switch to the aligner to correct the front issues. That's one. Oh, I never heard that one. Yeah. And what's that? Can you repeat it one more time? And what's the? I can go to the
Blue Sky.
That's what I meant.
Blue Sky Bio.
Yeah. To share the information, and also we learn things.
Yeah, I do know Blue Sky Bio offer clear aligner service. I believe they offer the software for you to design it, and they can give you the STL file for printing and a service like that. But if you want to like just give them the case, let them to do the design and the aligner, I believe their charge is actually not that cheap. It's not like what you see from their website. But overall, yeah, Blue Sky Bio, they do offer the design service. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and one more time, and what's that, the website? What's it called? The BioStar? What's that? Can you repeat it one more time?
Dr. Hao, it's called Blue Sky Bio.
What's that?
Lantian.
Oh, Lantian.
Blue Sky Bio. Yeah. They are started with the surgical guide design software.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good surgical guide design software. I used it several times. So it's a really good tool if you want to have an overview of the CBCT compared to STL scan, and to see some basic surgical guide design prep steps. Yeah, it's all free until you start designing the surgical guide. So I actually see a lot of doctors using it as a review tool because it's free to download. You just input your CBCT and the STL scan file, you can actually see how it looks like in 3D. So it's a really good free software. Yeah.
Oh,
right. They offer a kind of a liner, and we have a braces. That's a traditional braces, metal braces.
Yeah.
Into the liner.
Oh, yeah, no, I would say this way, yeah. I think that's called a indirect bonding trace. It's kind of they have your models, or either with your scan and digital model. Then they place a bracket on the surface of the case, and then they make that one we call the indirect bonding tray. When you send to you that one, you bonding the bracket and then with that tree, because that your bracket can exactly fit that. I maybe that's the one, and I think that's what you said. It's we call the indirect bonding tree. It's not for the aligner.
Yes, I can confirm. Blue Sky Bio do offer indirect bonding design as well.
So, yeah, okay, that's what
Thank you.
You cannot do the bracings and the aligner same time. It's a little bit out of our mind a little bit. Okay. I think that's called the indirect bonding tree. Is that right, Sean? If I'm right, and I think that's right.
Let me make comment for the Blue Sky Bio. Blue Sky Bio is a free software. Okay, the software itself is free, but the every time they generate like they do have the plan for the clear liner. If you want to get the liner, you have print. You can print yourself, okay? But whenever they export the STL file, they charge you, okay? Also, you can do the surgical guide design, but when you export the design STL file, they charge you. The software itself is free. So I think the doctor can go to their website, download that software. You can play around there. Then give you the general idea. But my experience is the Blue Sky, the treatment plan for the clear liner is not that good. Okay, you can try. Okay, they are cheaper, seems so. But if you have good experience, very good experience, you can go ahead. Okay, if not good experience is bad. And also for the clear liner, Unismile, we do have the software. Our software also is free. If you want to learn that, I can, Zhang can give you the download the software, so you can play a little bit, how to get the common sense. So this will be help for you design the Unismile case. Yeah.
Yeah, the software actually is a free download on our website. So if you're interested, you are more than welcome to go there and download it. And also to add to Dr. Zhang's opinion on Blue Sky Bios, I believe their software session on the the clear liner side is kind of too complicated to use, although it's free. But you need to start with the T segmentation. Basically, you need to draw the margin line for each teeth by yourself, which is a lot of work actually.
Oh, tedious.
Yeah, it's a tedious work. So you can definitely go and check it out, but I woun't recommend it because I tried before. I tried several times, and it's very not easy to use, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it is. I know the segment. I remember the Frank and the Go, and Golfy showed me one time some of the software. It is challenging. You have to do the segment. You have to cut the teeth and all the things, and it's a lot of work, man. And and I would see, and you just let them do it, and that's their job. That's their expertise, and we just focus our result and make sure the result we want and they can achieve based on their animation. So anything else? Yeah.
Dr. Hao, I have a question.
Sure.
What do you think about the expansion for the Unismile?
Yeah, that's what a good questions. For me, for the expansion, especially for the young kids, 7, 8, 9. If past 10, 11, it's difficult to use a liner to do the expansion. And you do the expansion just tipping the crown.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time you do after the certain of age. Younger age, and you can get some of the skeletal expansion. Even use our traditional expander, and for the kids, and I remember if my memory is still right, and I usually get a 50-50. Rough ideas, 50-50. That means 50 is skeletal expansion, and another 50% is just tipping the teeth. So, and the real expansion, the real skeletal expander, it's kind of, we call the mini screw assisted expander. It's Dr. Mo and UCLA, and he has that one. We call it maxilla skeletal expansion, MSE. I did a couple of times. I did a couple of them, and it's amazing. It's really got the skeletal expansion because you put the 4 mini screws on surface. Let me show you one of that. I have one patient. I just forget about it. Did you see this expander? Yeah, if you see that closely, and they have a 4 mini screw go to the patient's pelvic. 4 mini screw, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Yeah, it's my camera. Maybe it's not good. Yeah, if you see this one,
okay.
That's a very special one.
Hey, really?
Right. Yeah, you see.
So Dr. Hao, you said for the clear liner, do the expansion, just not a real expansion, it's a tipping, right?
For the adult, it's tipping, I would say.
It's tipping.
Oh. Yeah, most of them are tipping, just tipping. But for the kids, like a younger one, 6, 7, 8, 9, this age, you may get some of the expansion. But depends. Yeah, I see in the clinic, I get some of the result, and some of them not. Yeah. What I do is I still at this point I still stay with my traditional expansion. The thing is, I don't want the kids to miss that chance to because once I glue my expander to the mouth, and they won't they cannot take it out, and I'm sure I'm going to get the result. But for the aligner, I have to begging my kids, my little Johnny, to wear the 22 hours a day. And if they don't wear, that's it. And you get a 0 result. So that's what I always warning patients, warning our mom or daddy, and let them want to stick to the plan. Then you have trouble. Okay. I heard that when the smart key, Zhang, they are develop some of the expansion. Okay. Okay. Are you okay? Yeah, so that's one of the things we're going to get expansion. Yeah, expansion is a still tricky part with aligner. I see in our treatment plan, in the Unismart the treatment plan, you can do make the room of expansion. But for adult, be careful, and most of the time you are going to get tipping the crowns. For teenager, yes, you can get some of it.
摘口罩就要需要48小时的那个核酸。
Okay, and anything else? We get some of the voice. Okay.
I have a question, doctor.
Oh, sure.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jane.
Okay, so one of my colleagues, he's a dentist, and his daughter, and he's complaining. His daughter is 15 years old, and he's complaining that her face is not symmetric because she plays violin when she was little. So any treatment?
Oh, that's a good. You know, it's very tough, and that's what I really enjoy doing the early treatment. You know, the asymmetric face. Even yesterday, I saw one of the patient. I'm sure they're going to have a good surgery. Because when they are younger and the bite is a cross bite or some of the reason the jaws.
Her bite is good. Her bite is good.
Oh,
She
bite
had
is good.
orthodontic treatment, yeah, like
Okay.
4 or 5 years ago.
But you said the face is not a symmetry.
Yeah, the very.
Which part? It's a middle face, lower face, and.
No, I think the right side is much larger than left side.
Oh, that side. That may be the what's that? The joint, not joint. Your remus. You have the mandible and your remus is we call the either one side is over grooves, another side is under grooves. Maybe that's a reason. That one's most of it you correct it with the surgery. If you already at the age 15, I would say most probably you need a surgery. You can take a CBCT and do all the measurement and which part of the problem. It's upper problem, it's upper jaw problem, the lower jaw. Most of the times your lower jaw, the remus is not a symmetry, and then you get your jaw skewered. Yes, that depends. And so if you can shoot the CBCT result or do all the measurement, and you will find it. And go to the oral surgeon, they will figure it out. They do. If I feel it's probably the skeletal issue, and yeah, you can jump to tell them to go to the oral surgeon and do that one exam, and they will let you know what's the problem.
All right, thank you.
Oh, sure, you're very welcome. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and we still have one chat. Oh, we cannot see. Okay, yeah, that's all right.
哎，好师兄，我问你一个问题。我是 Harry。
请讲，对 ，Harry，go ahead。
请教一下，那个，比如像30岁的男性病人，second molar，OK，用 clear liners 压低，我知道 molars 很困难，1个毫米的话，大概需要多长时间？如果上颌和下颌肯定不一样，对不对？是吧？
对，上颌会好一点，下颌呢几乎困难。但是就是这种情况，大部分都是呢 ，most of time the problem is over eruption. It's very challenging to correct this one. Honestly speaking, and I never get a success cases. I tried and I never get I think the reliable way, if that's really because your one side is either upper or lower over erupted, so you don't have enough crown height for you to do the crown build up. They may just do that. I would just do the root canal, just make the crown short.
Okay.
I would see that more practical. Intrude, and it's very difficult. And I tried to use a mini screw and whatever, and maybe, but once I started running the rubber band, the patient hated it, and they don't want me to do that one. And they just go ahead, just do the root canal and cut the crown, and or either make that one the crowns. Is that right? How about Dr. Zhang and anyone else? And that's a good idea. And straightforward, make it straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's more reliable. Just do the root canal and then tell them it's intrusion. It's very difficult.
Super difficult.
There's no anchorage. It's very hard for you to put the anchorage. How can you intrude that one and without any force and without that anchorage?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And another thing I'm trying to go to the Shining 3D, that one, the printers. And I already ordered, and I'm going to order, yeah, maybe gotta start tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it in the 1 or 2 weeks. And I will let you guys know and how that 3D printers. So we can use some of the software to, I don't think I'm going to design anything. I just use a in-house printer, use as an in-house printer. They design everything and I just print it in-house and see how's that one going. And also probably use I heard that one, the Shining 3D, the printer is a very reasonable price, and the print is very, yeah. I'm going to try and let everybody know. And how's that one going? And maybe that one is going to another new choice for our orthodontics, or either for our general dentist, and a 3D printer.
Okay, sure.
医生，好，医生想问个问题，可以吗？
请讲，请讲。
就是那个，如果他就下面有 some patient lower anterior tooth is very crowding, so during the treatment, sometimes we notice mobility.
Yeah.
So do you do adjustment occlusion if you see about ability, or you just keep doing?
Yeah, that's a good, very good question. I just have a patient. I just stopped the treatment. Honestly speaking, and if we go back to review these kind of cases, and so that's my the license I learned. And the first things, and for the lower crowded cases, if the lower one already have a lot of bone loss, and their perio is not in the good condition, I highly recommend that let them see the periodontist first, and make their bone and also their that one perio bring them back, and let that a healthier gum, healthier perio, and then we start to do the aligner treatment. Just another way is when they are oral hygiene better, and another way, if they really want to do the aligner treatment, I recommend to do the bone graft, or either we call the Velcro orthodontics, and you can do the flip, and then the poking the alveolar bone, let the bleeding, and then add the bone graft, and then close it. Because you have this kind of bone, and also because of bleeding and a lot of stem cell, all these kind of growth factors going to get into that one, your graft bone. And this kind of bone will stay there for a certain time. And then you can move your teeth a little bit over the limit. I do have 2 good cases with that one we call the Velcro orthodontics. And yes, the same thing. When I started moving, and the lower teeth almost is very mobile. Then I luckily have a good periodontist, and he helped me to do the bone graft. And then it's only being just packed a lot of bones and in that area, and then you can continue with your aligner treatment, and then you won't have any other issues. Yeah, because that one is, only speaking, the increased bone volume, and so you don't need to worry about you move the teeth out of the bone. And that's my suggestion. But if you already have this patient in the treatment, you see that situation, and I would say let's stop, and or either put passive aligners in the mouth. Don't move that further, and let them be stable for a while and see how's the situation. If they become worse and it's still mobile, and you have to refer to the periodontist and let them see how can we work with that cases. And if the couple of months it seems fine, you can go ahead, continue the aligner treatment.
Okay, so if the patient don't have any bone loss, no periodontal disease, but you see mobility,
that's interesting. That's
not very normal, right?
Yeah, that's depend how mobile it is. That's a 1 degree.
Like a class 1, class 2.
Class 1, class 2. That's normal. And if you don't see any bone level reduced,
yeah, bone is look normal.
Oh, look normal. Okay, and then another way is, if that one I would see, and you still hold it, and let them see if there's a really healthy bone, healthy gum, and they should, when you stop adding the stronger force, and they should become better, because they don't have any issues with periodontal disease. So just stop and slow and see.
Okay, actually, this patient we already finished, and she wear the retainer for a while.
Okay.
It look fine, back to normal. But do you recommend put a fixed
retainer
for the lower, or they can just use retainer, clear retainer for rest of life?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly speaking, at this patient, I would do this way. I use a fixed retainer. You know that you have the fixed retainer. It's kind of like
band.
Bands, yeah, and that's one. And then you make another
retainer
over it. Then you will be safe, yeah. Because fixed aligners prevent the teeth the shifting or either mobile during the weekday, during the daytime. And then at night, and you wear the aligners, and that one is going to be make it even better. So that's what I recommend you do. And also keep checking and make sure and there's no perio issues. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm so happy. Yeah, you can share some of the experience.
Another question, Dr. Hao, sorry, came too late. And for the aligner as a retainer, how long you recommend patient to wear it? Rest of the life or during the day, during the night?
And based on our American Association of Orthodontics, sorry, I'm okay, and I'm going to have a 1 week break, and next week is my break week. I don't, I just no clinic, so I just have a rest. And so for me, it's for the aligners, and if you go to the American Association of Orthodontics website, and if you check the aligners, it's always tell the patient it's a lifelong job. Period. It's a lifelong job. It's you have to wear your retainer lifelong. And there's no tricky. We do a lot of research, and the University of Washington, Dr. Little, and other doctors, they did a lot of research about the the retention. Even you do finish beautifully, if you don't wear the retainer, sooner or later you have some of the relapse. So make it simple. So that's what in our AAO, they always recommend it's lifelong maintenance. I'll give the patient that concept, but it's not a practical way. Honestly speaking, think about who can wear the retainer forever, is right? I always tell the patient this way, that's you have to have your retainer the rest of your life. If you want to keep your teeth straight forever. And the first 5 years, every single night, you have to wear your retainer every single night. First 5 years. That's my experience. It's not evidence-based, okay? And then after that 5 years, you have to switch 2 nights, 3 nights per week. But you still need a retainer. Yeah. How long is going to be? And if you can wear your retainer and go to the graveyard, and then your teeth is going to be straight forever. That's what that makes it. Honestly speaking, that's our way to tell patient. But I wear my retainer every night. The reason is a couple of reasons. Let me also make some of my clinical tricks. First things, and I like the clear aligners as a retainer. Think about it. Our clear aligner, they not only cover your front teeth, they also cover your backside teeth. Your fixed retainer only can cover the front one. That's the first thing. And second one, your clear aligners, most of our people, we always grind our teeth. It's probably you feel that way. If you see most of people, they grind our teeth at night. So think about it. If you have clear aligners, it's not only keep your teeth straight, you also can prevent grinding your own teeth. So that's the second sell point for your wear the aligner lifelong. And the third one, I also add a little bit of things. I said at night, if you can put a little bit of whitening gel into your aligners, so you can make your teeth straight, and also you can make your teeth white. And then all these kind of good things happening at night. And so that's when if you wear your retainer, you get your teeth straight, you protect your own teeth, and also make your own teeth white. You can whiten your teeth. So if you put all this kind of enough information to your patient, and hopefully they listen, and then they follow. But if they don't follow, they don't listen, and I would say you already put all your efforts, and then that's their choice. Etc. Right? How do you feel?
Right. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So I always do that aligners, and the beauty is for the another thing. I forgot to tell everybody. I work with Unismile, and before my debonding, you know, the patient still have braces. I scan the patient with braces, and then I send this model or send this scan result to the Unismile. In Unismile, they can do this way. They can virtually remove all the braces in the lab, and then they can make the retainer without braces, and then they ship to me. So before I do the debond, already have a patient's retainers. So that's the day I just take off the braces, clean the teeth, and then give them the retainer the same day. That will make your clinic more efficient. You can prevent a lot of mistakes. Before, what I do is I take off the braces, I make a retainer, and a couple of days later, patient come back and said, "See, Dr. Hao, see my teeth shift," and then you stuck there. So now the good things for the scanner and Shining 3D Shining intraoral scanner, and they have that one the metal buttons. If you click that metal buttons, and then they will can scan the metal material in the mouth. So that means even our brackets there, that's okay, and a little bit of shining, and there's no issue at all. So that's a tricky part. If you want to do the scan, what the debonding, get the good retainers, and I do this. I'll scan it with the braces, and then I order the liner. I order the retainer 2 sets. Now these days we order 2 sets, and then the patient get a debonding. They give the retainer on the spot. Yeah, you don't worry about it. And if they don't wear, you cannot do anything else, but you give them the enough support and give them a good service, and rest of the things, just pray. Okay.
Oh, that's a question for mine, for sure. And
Sure.
How to avoid root resorption?
Oh, good question. Only speaking, and aligners seems better than my braces. Braces seems a little bit tough, then they are stronger force, and they have so far I just knocked the wood and see, and it's a white spot lesion, and that one, the root resorption, it's a headache. Look at my gray hair. That's 2 things always bothering me, and the root resorption. And at this point, I really don't see that many. I start a lot of cases, and so far I don't see that many root resorption. But some of case, just good things. The things one remembers. Before you start, you always take a good panel. If you see most of the time it's the upper incisor, and also the Hispanic population. If you suspect the space that one, the root is short, make sure you take a PA. and then you know your baseline. I don't say you cannot start with a short root. Some of my patients have very short root. I still do the braces, but I monitor every 3 to 6 months. Take another PA and see the root. And because the reason is we barely see the root resorptions. We use a gentle force because we use a night tie. We don't use that much stainless steel. And the second one, and the aligners make it even better. So that's the things and the root resorption. But make sure you have a good record. And if you don't have a good record, and if you make some mistake, my experience is make good friends with this patient, okay? Make sure you give them a special attention. Let them know you try your best to help them, and then they won't have trouble. I have one patient, only speaking as a speaker, and I want to be a hero, and I want to close that big gap. And the things when I started to take the teeth out, then I was shocked by the short root. I was scary. Oh my goodness, front teeth, I can shake it. Oh, it's shaking. Luckily, and this case I did almost 6 years. That's my longest case ever. Yeah, and but the thing is, that's what I said, and monitor, and put a record. You have the baseline, you have the short root in the beginning, and then you do the treatment, you monitor. You put you tell the patient, I'm trying to help you and give you the enough attention. If you feel anything wrong, I have to stop right away. I don't want you lose that 2 front teeth. Yeah, but once you open your heart and you try to help them, they understand. And then you avoid any legal issues or any other things. Yeah, but that's our risk, because that's a great profession. Great profession means, and we get the good financial reward. And at the same time, we also have something troubles there. Yeah, that's my little bit clinic experience. And if you cannot do the great job, and make sure, and even you are BS orthodontics or whatever, and make sure you are the good friend of your patient, and give them enough attention, and show your big heart, and they will love you, and they won't give you any trouble. That's my kind of tips for the clinic. Anything else? Okay, I think it's already late enough, and luckily, and
hey, Alfred, I want you to see what you want to eat, and there are other things too in there. There's support.
I think this piece and a little bit of the tomato, and I'm good.
Okay, for us, okay. Do you want to give us a free food? Okay.
Okay.
也
好了，那我们谢谢郝医生啊。
好，不用客气。对，很高兴张医生的。
谢谢郝医生，谢谢各位医生。
好，不用客气，谢谢大家。
也谢谢向啊。
对，好 ，Good night，
谢谢，多谢，多谢。
好，谢谢 Harry。好 ，Good night，everybody。
Good night，
再见，
再见。